Hello, everybody. My name is Florent Renard. I'm an associate professor in the University of Lyon, and I'm going to present you a nice, friendly study about thermal comfort modeling in either in Tokyo and in Lyon, in France. So this study has been conducted with Lucille Alonso, who is working for a consulting agency in Marseille, in France, south of France, and with Varke Sensei and Hiroki and Ping from Tokyo Institute of Technology. So we are getting warmer and warmer, as well in Tokyo and in Lyon. So I think that everybody knows that Tokyo is in the middle of Japan, at 35 degrees north. It has 14 million of inhabitants. It's about more than 2,000 kilometers square. But I'm not sure that you know where Lyon is. Lyon is in southeast of France. It's a bit above in latitude. It's 45 degrees north. It has only, I would say, 1.5 million of inhabitants, and it is spanned on 500 kilometers square. We've got both different climate for sure in Tokyo and in Lyon. Tokyo is CFA on the Köppen-Geiger classification. It's very warm and humid in summer, and this is very difficult for us European people to stand summers in Tokyo, for sure. According to the study from Bastien et al., Tokyo in 2050 would have the climate of Changsha in China. In Lyon, this is very interesting as well because for the moment we are in France, for sure. And we've got as well a CFA climate, but just for some decades, because before we were on CFB, on the Köppen climate classification. And according to some studies, in 2050, Lyon would have the climate of Canberra in Australia. And according to some other studies, in 2050, Lyon will have the climate of Madrid in Spain. So Madrid is in the middle of Spain, and even more frightening, I would say, because at the end of the century, we are supposed to have the climate of Algiers in Algeria. So this is north of Africa. So Lyon would be in Africa, or either in Australia. So this is this is a big concern for us. So that's why we are doing many studies, because we are suffering from a heat wave, and it's causing lots and lots of death. For example, in 2003, we had more than about 15,000 deaths in Lyon, which was about 80% higher mortality than during a normal summer. And it was the second most affected agglomeration after Paris, who suffered a lot. Right now, we are having in 2023 a very strong heat wave as well in Lyon, which is even longer and warmer than 2003. For the moment, we don't know exactly the social consequences, but it seems that it would be less important. But the summer is not over in France, so we would see. We don't have the precise number of deaths. And so, on both cities, we are having an urban heat island effect, maybe even stronger in Lyon than in Tokyo. Everybody knows about the UHI effect here, caused of surface parameters, morphological parameters, and anthropogenic parameters. So this is a real challenge for developers. We are working a lot with developers and urban planners to mitigate this urban overheating. So there are many ways to study UHI, as we can see here during this conference. So we are trying to present a new, original, and alternative way to study UHI, not based on CFD. If you want to know more about CFD, Varke Sensei is going to give a very nice and interesting talk tomorrow afternoon. But we are not going to speak about CFD, but about GWR, as we are going to see a geographically weighted regression. Because the usual way to study UHI first is to use measurement networks, fixed measurement networks. But both in Tokyo and even more in Lyon, we don't have enough dense network. So this is useless. We cannot do anything about that. Even if we ask to the elected officials to set up some weather station, for decades, they don't know and they don't want to do it. So it's a bit a shame. So we are using a lot mobile measurements. We've done a lot of mobile measurements during the last 10 years, I would say, especially during the PhD of Lucy D'Alonso, who gave a nice talk about her application, the soft-guided mode application yesterday. So we did a lot of mobile measurements. We are using as well a lot of satellite imagery. The land surface temperature to study the surface UHI using Landsat, still waiting something from ESA. We are using thermal camera, and we've done as well lots of qualitative methods like guided tours or heat mind maps. And for sure, we can use modeling as well. Just a quick word, some advanced CFD like NVMet or Solène Microclimat, which is an interesting French software that maybe you may know. Some thermal modeling like Solveig, just the presentation before, or simplified modeling like IceTool, which is a QGICE plugin that is interesting as well. But this is time-consuming, and sometimes this is still very theoretical. So we try, just to see what it looks like, a method based on ground measurements, mobile ground measurements, and geographically weighted regression. So this is a bit an alternative way, I would say. Just a quick word about GWR. It's a regression model, but this is a local one. This is a local one that allow coefficient to vary locally for each pixel, in fact. And in that way, we've got a separate equation for every feature in the field. So it depends on explanatory variables, and these variables can differ depending on the location as well as the coefficient. So this is interesting. For example, the thermal comfort would be modeled using a certain coefficient of vegetation density or certain coefficient of sky view factor. So this is interesting. More precisely, for the thermal comfort, we are using the WBGT. So we are doing some black globe measurements, air temperature measurements, relative humidity measurements. We've done many walks in Tokyo and Lyon the last summer. It was very warm. My colleague Lucille stayed 3 months in Tokyo, for example. And I've been there quite a lot as well, and I've done many walks in Lyon. And so the WBGT is a function of the wet bulb temperature, the globe thermometer temperature, and the dry bulb temperatures. And we've done measurements during the morning, afternoons, evenings, and nights, quite a lot. For example, it was in the night of the 19th of August in Tokyo, and it was still above 31 degrees of air temperature, and the relative humidity was 62.5%. So it was very difficult for us to stand, for example. In Lyon, this is much more drier. And for example, you've got the walk that have been made during the night in Tokyo, the 19th of August, 2022. With the values of WBGT, which were still very high. And so to do the geographically weighted regression, we are using lots of variables. So we are trying to reconstruct the city in 3D using a kind of digital twin. We are using climate data from remote sensing, like land surface temperature, from Landsat 8 or 9, the UTF-VI, sun duration, solar radiation, yes, using LiDAR data as well. We are working a lot with remote sensing indices like NDVI, vegetation indices like NDVI or EVI, and so on. For the vegetation indices, we are using LiDAR data as well to get the low vegetation, but as well the medium vegetation and the high vegetation. We are using water indices like the NDWI, moisture indices, and DMI, getting built indices as well, UI, for example. We are incorporating some other topographic variables like the DEM or the slope, the exposure. We are getting some variables from urban morphology like the sky view factor, thanks to the LiDAR as well. Getting urban rugosity or some variables about land use and land cover, like the distance to fountains or the railway proximity. And so we've been a bit surprised because we get some decent results, I would say, with a coefficient of determination around 0.8 and with RMSE around 0.3 WBGT. We can get, after modeling, with 10 meter spatial resolution. And so amongst the parameters that increase the WBGT, we've got very often the LST and the road network density and the SWIR2 band as well from Landsat 9. On the contrary, parameters that decrease the thermal comfort, that improve the thermal comfort, are the vegetation indices, the sky view factor for sure, and as well we found two other bands from Sentinel-2, like the coastal aerosol band and the vegetation red edge. In conclusion, the GWR is a nice, interesting new method of a geostatistical field, I would say. This is based on mobile measurements. The mobile measurements can be very time-consuming as well. This is the problem of this method. And we need as well some very precise and plenty of explanatory variables like GIS variables and remote sensing, knowledge of the area. And so in the next future, we are trying to get some more thermal comfort indices using that way and compare it with CFD modeling. Thank you.
Thank you. We have time for one quick question. Anyone?